College football is officially back, people. Week 0 is upon us, and the biggest game that's going to be getting played this weekend is Georgia Tech taking on the Florida State Seminoles in Dublin, Ireland. Florida State is currently a 13-point favorite, but I'm not sure they're going to cover that number. I really believe Georgia Tech has a great chance to not only cover, but they also could pull off this upset. Florida State is going to have a great defense this year. Nobody should deny that. But offensively, there's much to be desired. Quarterback, you downgraded from Jordan Travis. He leads for the NFL. And you bring in DJ Uiagalelei. And Florida State fans know that they're kind of limited in terms of their ceiling with DJU at quarterback. If you want to be able to maintain the level of success that you had last season, you need him to play at a high level, which is something that we haven't seen him do since his first couple of games when he replaced Trevor Lawrence in 2020. Ever since then, he's been a massive disappointment. And the thing with DJU is that in big games against ranked teams, he struggles to throw the ball with accuracy. He completed under 60% of his passes in all of Oregon State's top 25 games last year. He also doesn't make good decisions with the football. And if Georgia Tech can make Florida State one-dimensional, you take away the run game, you love your chances of being able to force a couple of DJU turnovers, because that's the area that your defense excelled at last year. The Yellow Jackets were 11th in college football and forced turnovers. You got a pretty good secondary. Yeah, your defensive line is concerning, and your defense was awful at stopping everything last year. The run, you were 130th in the nation. You pretty much were dead last. You weren't that great against the pass, but you got in a new coaching staff. And if your new defensive staff under Brett Key ends up being a massive improvement, and not only can you force a few turnovers, but you can get a few key stops in this game, you're going to give your offense the opportunity to put points up on the board against this defense. Because, yeah, FSU's defense is going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be good enough to bail out their offense if they are posed with having to defend a short field. And this is an offense that, by the way, returns 83% of their production from last year. Haynes King had nearly 40 touchdowns combined last year. He had 37, 27 through the air, 10 on the ground. They also returned their leading rusher, their top 2 wide receivers, and 3 out of 5 starters on the offensive line. The question is, can he play mistake-free football? Now, last year was his first year being in Georgia Tech's system. But if he improves in year 2 and he cuts those turnover numbers down and he only has 1 interception in this game, Georgia Tech should be able to produce when they get turnovers and turn those turnovers into points on the board. Florida State this year isn't going to be a team that is going to be as potent offensively as what they were last year due to what they lost. They got questions at receiver. Your offensive line is still going to be good when it comes to run blocking, but I don't see this being a team that's easily going to be able to get the 27, 30 points every game. I think that them reaching 27, 30 on a weekly basis is going to be tedious for them because you're not going to be as consistent at throwing the football this year with DJU. So the path to the upset for Georgia Tech is erase the run game. If you can completely erase Florida State's running backs from this game and you get them in the ball game where they got to throw 30 plus times with DJU, you're going to have a few interceptions that you can get, and you're going to have some short field opportunities to turn those mistakes and the points on the board. Your offense, with the experience that you have, they're not going to be no stranger into playing in a game of this magnitude. What also helps Georgia Tech is that they're not playing this game in Doak Campbell. You're playing this game in a neutral site setting. So the atmosphere, the crowd, you don't have to worry about them taking over this game. So I love Georgia Tech's chances to pull off this upset. And to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if it happened. And the last time I talked about this game a few weeks ago, I took Florida State minus 13. But the more I sit on this game, the more I'm starting to lean towards Georgia Tech plus 13. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I wouldn't be shocked if they end up pulling off this upset. I really wouldn't. I expect this game to be pretty competitive. Florida State should come out a little bit rusty, something that Georgia Tech can take advantage of. And Brant Key is going to have these guys motivated. His players love him. They respond well to him. He does a great job getting them amped up. And that's the large reason why they overachieved and won 7 games in his first season there. So expect this thing to be pretty close. Georgia Tech plus 13 is looking really nice right now. But I'm going to have more things to say on this game as we progress throughout this weekend. We inch closer to kickoff.